Hello everyone. Today I wanted to show you how to make a game using my game engine and its graphical user interface. So let's boot it up here. We're starting from a clean slate. I have removed all the data. So here we go. This is what it looks like when you boot it up. I have changed the menu a little bit. So you got the engine title here and you got the buttons and stuff here. So the first thing you want to do when you boot it up, because basically you can't do anything until you start creating actors and sprites. So if, let's say I go into Actor Editor, we don't have anything in the drop-down list here. Go into Scene Editor, we won't have any actors to work with. So let's just create a simple room with a player and some boxes that he can collide with. So let's go into our Sprite Editor first. There are a lot of changes made here. I have support now for alpha channel, so you can have transparency in sprites. I've also added this input field for delay, so you can choose how long time it should spend on each frame on the sprite, so that you can have animations. So let's just create a sprite here. Let's call this ball, and we're going to try to draw a ball here. Probably not going to do a very good job of doing that. So we're going to draw a red ball. And another thing I added is that this drop-down shadow here on drop-down lists when they are in focus. You're probably going to see more of that later. So let's draw a ball here. We'll see how. I'm not going to be very detailed here. It's going to be a very ugly ball. But let's just draw like a red dot here. I don't think anyone wants to see me draw stuff either way. This is not a drawing tutorial. Maybe we should make this ball a little bit animated as well. So let's make it, there we go, very beautiful ball. So now I press X to create a new frame. I'm going to the next frame in animation. I am going to add onion skins here later so you can see the previous frame, a shadow of it. So let's make this ball like, let's try and make it so in the animation it's going to shrink or something, I don't know. So let's make it smaller and smaller. Go into the next frame. Next frame, and now it's just a dot basically. Next frame. And now I can press C to go a step backwards in the frame if I want to. Okay. Let's set a delay here as well. Let's set 0.3 or something. Then I'm going to hit save. And as you can see, the sprite is now in this drop-down list here. And you can see it's animated as well. Here's a little preview of it. I'm going to make that preview bigger later. Let's create a new sprite for the walls that we're going to use in the scene that this player can collide with. So let's create a new sprite. Let's call this square or something. Let's call it box. No, let's call it square. Let's just draw an outlined square here real quick. I'm gonna hit save. Oh crap. Save. And now the square is in the drop down as well, as you can see. And I can go back and edit the ball if I want to. Just like that. Okay, so let's create these game objects now, the actors. So to do that, I'm just going to go into the menu again by pressing escape, Actor Editor. Let's create our player first. Let's call it a player. Let's select the ball sprite. Now, here's a script I can use if I want to. I can create an init script. This is a script that will be executed when the ball is created. Now I want a tick script, and a tick script is a script that is being called every tick, every frame. So I have a script here called movement.he. The scripting language is my own language that I created, by the way. It's called Hermes. There's probably going to be a link in the description to it. So here's a little script I wrote in Hermes, my language. It kind of looks like C, but it's not. It's my own programming language. So basically what's happening here is that I'm doing object wall is equal to get intersecting. Now this function is going to get an object that is colliding with this, which will be the ball or the player in this case, and it's going to be of type wall. And then we have some if keyboard press, blah, blah, blah. We have some movement functions here so that we can move our player. And then we have the collision check in here. So if wall is not null, which means that we are intersecting with an object. We're doing some collision stuff here. So let's just add this script here. So how I do that right now is scripts. I just put in the path to the file here. So scripts/movement.he. Later, I am going to build in a built-in text editor so you don't ever have to leave the window here. And then I'm going to hit save. Cool. Now, we also want to create our wall, okay? So let's go and create a new actor. Now, this actor, the name of this needs to be wall, because that is what we're looking for here. So for now, let's just name our actor wall. And we're going to use our square sprite. And the wall will not have any script. It doesn't have any kind of behavior. So I'm going to hit save. So now we have the wall here in the drop-down list as well. So now we're going to create a scene, a room for these actors that we can play with. So if I go into the scene editor and I go and name my scene, let's just name this room or something. Now I want this to be the main scene. So I'm going to check this checkbox here, which means that when I run the game, it's going to boot into this room, okay? So I'm going to hit that checkbox, and I'm going to hit save. And now this design button is active, so I can use the design button. And now I'm here, so I can design this scene. And I have a cursor here which I can use to place out stuff. So if I press I, the I key on my keyboard, which stands for insert, I get the drop down here. So let's place out our player. Cool. Let's place out some walls. Now I can also delete stuff. You see there I have a wall placed out. I can delete it by pressing the delete key on my keyboard while having the cursor on it. So delete. Cool. So now by pressing escape, I can go out from the scene designer. By the way, these are the coordinates for the cursor here up, by the way, so that you know where you are. So if I press escape now, and we go and hit the run button, the game will run. And as you can see, I can control this player here because of this script, and it has collision checking for this wall because we added because that's what the code is doing here. So I can't go through this wall here. So for example, I can also, if I close that window, and now I can change the code here if I want to. For example, let's say I want to print something whenever we collide with a wall. So print collision. And I don't have to restart the engine, I can just press run again. And now it's going to print stuff if I hit the wall. As you can see here, it started printing collision. So you can modify the script without restarting the engine, basically. So that's pretty cool. And that's how you create a simple game using my engine. Now I'll put all the necessary links into the description if you want to play around with this. Now, I know it's going to be difficult to compile it on your own. There aren't a lot of documentation on how to do that. But this is the basic foundation of how the game engine is going to work. So it's not done yet. We have a couple of things that should be added. For example, I want to make it so that you can create 3D games using the graphical user interface as well. The engine does support 3D games, but the graphical user interface does not. And there are a lot of other things I want to improve as well, but right now you can actually create simple games with it. One thing I forgot is if you want to, let's say I have multiple scenes, so let's just create another scene here. Let's create a new scene. Let's call this level 2 or something, I don't know. Save. Let's go design this. Let's place up some walls. And maybe a player. Now, to be able to go to this scene, there's a built-in function for that. So let's say whenever we collide with a wall, let's do scene go to level 2. So if we collide with a wall, it's going to go to scene level 2. I think that's how you do it. Okay, run, if I remember correctly. So if we collide with a wall now, I should go to the next scene. And that didn't work. We crashed, actually. Okay, so for some reason that didn't work. Well, you can see it's a little bit buggy. But other than that, yeah, I'm really starting to getting this into a working state, which is nice. So thank you for watching. I put some links in the description, and I'll see you in the next video.